Good morning, sailors. This is race 3A, the national titles in Adelaide, and we're coming up for a start. High hopes. We only had 2 races yesterday. A lot of nerves, hoping to get in a few races and do reasonably well, and we're in for a start. You'll see the fleet has taken off. Got a few boats to keep an eye on in this particular race, mainly colours. Green, of course, yellow, 2 yellow boats to keep an eye on. Of course, Nick Jerwood leading the regatta at the moment quite convincingly, and also Mike Jeffries, who's also up there in the majority of races. So keep an eye on the green boat and the 2 yellow boats. Also keep an eye on the pink boat as well. So that of course is Janet, Nick's wife, and she's having a pretty good regatta as well. She's got her boat going very fast. Now looking at the race at the moment, you'll see that the yellow boat has gone out wide. You'll also see the puffs on the water. So the idea, of course, is to sail on the edge of those puffs and avoid those glassy bits. But the strategy on 22 at the moment, go wide, come back in. On the other hand, you'll see the green boat on the inside of the course with a completely different strategy, but on the outside of this puff now, cruising up to that top mark and looking very, very fast. That's 114. That is, of course, the famous Andrew Donkin, and he's also having a stellar regatta. The Western Australians dominating the tally so far. So we're going up there, focusing on the green boat at the moment. He's on the inside here and going very fast, picking up a bit of a shift on that port tack, tacking onto starboard and then cruising up to the top mark. That's the red marks coming into screen now. So you'll see he's flying up there, getting ready to go around that red mark.
Large mark.
And the fleet, the gaggle to follow. So the gaggle's quite bunched up in this particular race, but there goes Mr. Donkin. He's around that top mark and leading the fleet. Can't quite make out who's in second at this stage. You've got the 2 yellow boats who are in mid-fleet. One of them has to tack and then tack back around. So pretty clean rounding, but a lot of expectation in this particular race. And Donks leading out the pack. So we're now coming out to the first downwind leg. You'll see here 2 yellow boats. Mid-fleet, we'll see where they end up. 3 yellow boats, in fact. And as we move up, you'll see here, I think that's the pink boat, and then we're moving up to the green boat at the front. So as they make their way downwind, 114 is doing quite nicely at the moment, well out in front, and picking up a little bit of a gust there as well. The rest of the fleet charging down. What you'll notice, the 2 yellow boats quite a long way back in the pack at the moment. We've only got 1 upwind, a downwind, and then up to the finish. The finish was pretty much a soldier's finish, so you really only had the first 2 beats to make any headway. And you'll notice these yellow boats come from quite a long way back to do quite well, particularly number 22 from Western Australia. Right, they're coming into view. You'll see most of the boats are favouring the right-hand gate. Some also going around to the left-hand gate as well. That's as you're facing downwind. You'll see the boats working their way up now. It looks like the right-hand gate as you're going downwind is possibly favoured, but you'll see here yellow, I think that's 22, working his way up. In fact, the left-hand gate may well have been favoured. That's the left-hand gate looking downwind. So the boats that have come around the left-hand gates come in on a bit of a lift, tacked on the knock, and then they're lifting on starboard tack, working their way upwind. That's 52 on the screen. You'll see 22 further across. And here's the green boat 114 out in front, sailing a very nice race, leading by quite a significant margin at the current time, sailing extremely well, just on the outside of that puff. You can see it on the screen there, and picking up that nice lift all the way up to the top mark, which will be coming into screen shortly. You'll also see the yellow boat in about 4th or 5th, number 22 coming up the inside. I think that's him coming up the inside as well, and just sailed from pretty much out of nowhere into, just going to cross in front, managed to slip through there, and managed to sail into 2nd spot, which is pretty impressive because he was a long way back in the pack. And you'll see the pink boat as well, tacking inside. Nick would have given room there for sure, or else his wife's going to tell him off after the race. So here come the rest of the fleet. They're coming up past the top mark now. And fortunately for Nick, he's still getting dinner cooked for him. So as we come around the top mark, you'll see that boat's just struggled, managed to get around, I think. Oh no, stuck on the mark. Yeah, it pays to overlay the mark somewhat. There's a bit of tide and current, and of course the unpredictability of the wind, but we're going downwind again now. You see the yellow boats, 2 yellow boats there. I think 22 is further up the course. And it's 22, 101, and the green boat. Not quite as big a margin at this stage, but still leading and going down to the left-hand gate, whilst the rest of the fleet, 22, also follows around that left-hand gate as well, along with 101. In fact, most of the fleet is now going around the gate close to the shore. So that seems to be paying. There's a bit of a lift as you come into shore, and then once that knocks, the fleet's tacking out and going out on port. At this stage, the wind does shift around for the later races, so the strategy changes, but at this stage this seems to be the most viable strategy. Okay, so we're coming up. You'll see 22's tacked a bit earlier than 114. 114's come a bit closer into the wharf. There's a bit of chop and the breeze drops out a little bit, so it may not have been the right thing to do. 22 has tacked a bit earlier and has got back into that breeze slightly faster, and possibly could be leading at the moment. We are coming up to a finish. You'll see the pink boat 101 is also flying along, coming in on port, but as we work our way up, 22's in the front, and we have the green boat 114 in second on starboard. 22 has ducked. 114's kept going to the mark, deciding to do a loose cover there, maybe tacked a little bit late. 22 has pushed up there. It'll be interesting to see how this one finishes. If 22 can lay the finish line, then 22 is clear. Well, 22's back on starboard, and unfortunately 114 has to give way, and 22 wins the race, coming from quite a long way back. 114 in second, and I think that is 101 coming through in third spot, so also very well sailed. And that's the end of the race.
561, 3 52 136 03 688 218 36514 861